Hi everyone. A couple days ago on Halloween, Donald Trump Jr. tweeted following: "I'm going to take half of Chloe's candy tonight and give it to some kid who sat at home. It's never too early to teach her about socialism." I don't like Donald Trump and I don't like Donald Trump Jr., but I liked this tweet. And what I really liked about this tweet was the responses to it. It got a lot of responses. I don't have Twitter, so for me to see a tweet, it has to get very popular and be posted on other places. Within an hour, it had 50,000 replies to it. The first thing, well, people said a lot of things about it. They didn't like the tweet, but some of the most common things they said about it were trick-or-treating is just begging for handouts, not work. So they thought this was a bad model for socialism, since his daughter wasn't doing any work, she was just begging for candy. But I think that's actually wrong. I think even though it's fun and they're not doing it as a service, they're not doing it, but they are doing it for the candy. They're going out, they wear a costume and they go door to door, and they are in some ways providing a service to the adults who are giving them candy, or sweets as we call them in the UK. The few times that I've had trick-or-treaters at my house, it's kind of exciting. You know, you get some sweets prepared for the night, and then there's a knock on the door, and it's exciting. And they got these little children at your door squealing trick or treat, and obviously not everyone likes it, but for a lot of people, I think it's a bit of fun. It's some whimsy introduced into life, and I think that the children, even though they're doing it for the candy, it's almost exactly like a job. That they're doing it for the candy, and we're giving them the candy because it's cute. Because they're cute, and it's fun for us, and we don't mind being generous and sharing our treats with children. So I think they are a little bit wrong about that. And she's only 3 years old. Like that's the closest thing she can get to a job at that age. She's not even old enough to do chores. She's just being cute is the only job she can get, basically. There are also a lot of people pointing out that Donald Trump Jr. is a millionaire because his father is Donald Trump, and he just inherited all of his wealth, and Donald Trump Sr. Inherited it in turn from his father and built an empire out of it. But people usually forget about that. But he just inherited his wealth, so of course he didn't deserve anything that he has. I think that's kind of irrelevant. I mean, the candy that his daughter is working for, he didn't give it to her. The whole point is that she, as I just described, she went out and got it herself. Like, obviously he helped her. He probably bought her costume, which is a pretty good allegory for an inheritance, or privilege, some people call it. She had a cute costume, therefore maybe people gave her more candy. I don't really think that's how people with giving out trick-or-treat candy works, but maybe she got more candy because she had a cuter costume that her father could afford because he is a millionaire. But I think that's largely irrelevant that he's a millionaire. But the most common sort of outrage about this was that he's a meanie head, basically, and that he should be teaching his daughter to the virtue of sharing, and not trying to brainwash her with capitalistic nonsense. I think what I really liked about this criticism, which is very common, was that the people who were criticizing it were actually criticizing it for being too good a representation of socialism. They agreed that this was a good demonstration of socialism, but he was saying it was dumb or immoral, or he was making it seem like a mean thing. But it's literally, it is like he's doing what he's doing is actually a really good demonstration of socialism, and they're saying, yeah, but it's good. She should be happy that the candy's being taken away from her, but of course she's not, because she's a child, and children are selfish. That's just what they're like. And what I think is so good about the tweet is that the way that he words it, taking away half of his daughter's candy and giving it to someone who sat at home. He never called the person who sat at home lazy, and he didn't say why they sat at home. Lots of people pointed out that children could be sick at this time of year and could be staying at home because they literally can't go out trick-or-treating, and then maybe they should be getting candy, and maybe it's right to give make his daughter give half her candy to a child who had to stay at home anyway. But he never said they were lazy. He never said that they shouldn't get the candy. He was just demonstrating socialism, and the way he did that was pretty accurate. If he did this, which I don't think he did, he acted as an arbiter of the tax system. So he taxed his daughter's candy, he took half of it, and he distributed it to someone who she probably never met, and she doesn't know why they didn't go trick-or-treating or who they are. In the real world, you can elect a government, you have a vote for a government where you can have a very minor say in where taxes are allocated, but in this case, she had no decision. So in that sense, it's a tiny little bit different too. I mean, I think a 3-year-old daughter probably has more sway over her own father than the typical voter has over the government. Sharing is a little bit different. If he'd been teaching his daughter the virtue of sharing, he might have asked her to share with her friends, or let her meet some children who didn't have candy for some reason, give it to them, or maybe he could ask her to give some to her siblings or her parents or grandparents or something. And that's kind of sweet. That's the kind of thing that my parents might make me do, but not that I ever went trick-or-treating. It's not an English tradition. But I also think he's kind of right about it's never too early to teach your kids about socialism, because what he was trying to teach her, there's kind of this double side to socialism, and I'm not even saying that I hate socialism. That's not what this video is about, really. I'm not even going off on one about socialism, but there's two sides to socialism. There's the ones who are giving and the ones who are receiving the aid or the benefits or the candy in this case. And there's a lot of virtues to giving people aid when they need it, disabled benefits, and lots of taxes do very good things, I think. But what he was trying to teach his daughter was the side of socialism that you don't really get to experience firsthand until you have a job and you pay income tax for that job, which you usually don't get. A lot of people don't get until they're 25 or after they've left university. I mean, I had a job when I was a teenager. I delivered papers, but I wasn't taxed for that job. I got everything that I earned because it wasn't that much. Being taxed is something that it's a pretty simple concept. Anyone can understand income tax, but I really think that you don't truly understand income tax until you spend a month working for a wage, and then at the end of that you get a pay slip that says how much you made and how much went to the government. And it's really, I mean, it differs from country to country, but when you've been working for a while and you pile up these pay slips and you realize how much of it, it's, of course, it's thousands of pounds. It's just that you never see, and that's good and bad. I'm not here to talk about that, but I think there really is something, tacit learning, I think is what it's called, where there's something that you learn about it that you can't learn any other way except to do it, to have it happen to you. I mean, people are always talking about this when talking about privilege, and you can't understand the experience of another person in a different situation, and there's a sense that is true in a sense, and I think it's true in this sense that you can't understand being taxed until you have been taxed. I've been reading Communism, Politics and Economics by Thomas Sowell, which is a kind of comprehensive guide to the work of Marx and Engels. And in that he says that Marx never had a job, which I think is pretty telling. Although Engels did have a job, but I don't think it's a coincidence that a lot of students are communist, and then there's a sense in which they kind of grow out of it, although not everyone does. But it sounds incredibly condescending to say that a university student can't understand income tax, and they can't understand socialism properly without living it. But there is something about having a job that kind of wakes you up to the fact that working is not slavery, and the people who are making your boss who's making money off your labor is not exploiting you. It's just, you can spend ages looking for a job, and then when you finally find one, it's a huge relief. And it's great to be working. I mean, some jobs are really, really horrible. I'm very privileged to have a nice job that I like a lot. But anyway, I'm rambling now. Oh yeah, a lot of people complained lastly that he spelled "too" wrong, as in when he said "too" early, he wrote it with one O instead of two. So that's a valid criticism, and he should know better. But I don't think that makes him a bad person. Well, he could be a bad person. Please look out for my next video, which will be about Marxism, Politics and Economics by Thomas Sowell. And I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching. Leave your comments below.